I am done with this, I am done fixing the zip. Can you see this? Zip, I'm going to go ahead and join the side seam. Okay guys, the next step is to attach the back panel. So you're just going to leave it like this for now. Then we're going to attach the back panel to the front panel. So I'm just going to go ahead and match it up like this and ensure that I have it completely matching up to the end of the trousers. Then I'm going to stitch it by half of an inch because that's the allowance that I left there. So I'm going to stitch it by half of an inch, and also I'm going to stitch this other side by half of an inch like this. So when I'm done stitching, I'll show you what to do next. So guys, after ironing it, this is what I have. I have already taken time to iron it. So guys, the next thing to do after ironing it is to attach the loops. So I'm going to go over to the machine and attach the loops. I also got my waistband and the already made band. So this is what I'm going to use in making the trousers. So the first thing to do in marking the loops, what you need to take note of is the waist measurement. To mark the loops, you have to open up the waist like this. The waist measurement that I'm working with is 35 inches. So what I'm going to do here is to measure from this point here. Then I'll make sure that my zip remains the way it is. Then I'll extend it down while maintaining this point like this. So what I'm having here is 37 inches. So now I know that what I'm going to shape from this float now is just basically 2 inches. That means 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on the other side. So I'm going to mark out the 1 inch here. You can see now I'm going to subtract 1 inch by this side. Then the loops is going to start 1 inch away from the seam allowance that I have. So that means I am marking 2 inches here. Then coming to the side, I'll mark 0.75 away from this side seam, and that is where the next loops will appear. Then I'll do the same thing in this other side. I'll mark 2 inches at this point, and then coming to this side seam, I'll mark 0.75 away from the side seam to the back side. Some people do take half inch, but I like working with 0.75. Then to determine what you are going to place here, you will simply measure from this point here to the side seam. Whatsoever you have, you now divide it into 2. And what I have here is 4 inches. So you can see that is what I'm marking there. So whatever I have from here to the side seam is what I am going to mark in this other side, from the side seam to that point. So you can see that. So that is where I'm going to attach my loops. As such, when I'm done ironing the loops, I will attach it this way. I'll place it on the marks, and then I will attach it like this. So if you care about the length of the loops, it is 4.5 inches. 4.5 inches when I'm working with already made waistband. But if I'm working with just normal waistband that I have to bend it and top stitch, I may go for 4 inches. So that's what I'm going to do. When I'm done with the loops, I'll then use my waistband like this. I didn't remember to inform you when to fold this, but just go ahead and fold yours. Measure your gum stay to be 1.5 inches by this waist that you have. So one of them will be 1.5 inches by this particular side. Like this. You're going to measure it like this. See now? You measure it. That's one of the waistbands will be exactly what you have here or more. So whatever excess you have, you know that you're going to trim it off. Then let it take you from here to this place plus either 1 inch excess, just for safety. Then this other side, you're going to have enough excess. See? So when you're making yours, you should have an excess of at least 6 inches. Take note of that. An excess of at least 6 inches, having gotten the waist measurement. So that is what I did. So when I'm done attaching the loops, I'll go ahead to stitch the waistband like this. I'll just place it on the waist. After attaching my loops, I'll just place it like this on the waist, and then I'll stitch by half of an inch. I'm going to stitch it by half of an inch. Then I'll pass this point like this. Then I'll continue my stitches down to this point. Afterward, I'll trim it off. When I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. Okay guys, so after stitching it, this is what I have. You can see how it looks like. Ensure that you always open up this seam when you are stitching it so that it will lie open. Please do that on both sides. That's the side seam. So this is what I have. You can see the waistband. You can see the loops and everything is very perfect. And what I'm going to do here is to trim up this. Of course, this is not really necessary again. I have trimmed this up, and I'm also going to trim this side up. You can see now I'm keeping it like this so as to trim it up like this. So you can see. So if you're not using this method, you need to leave some excess here. So after trimming it up like this, I'll still want to have a little notch in here. So I'm going to notch this open now like this. You can see. So this is giving me a little beautiful notch here. And this other side, you can see how it looks like. You can see I stitch it to this point. This is how I did. I open it up. This crease here is where I stop the stitches. So I wanted to explain something here. I attach this side, leaving the excess in this other side, and I stop my stitches here at this crease point where I have my folding like this. What I'm going to do now is to skip 4 inches from this point that I stop the stitches. So I'll skip 4 inches to this point, you can see. So this is where I have my 4 inches. Then I will pick up this my 4 inches here and place it close to that point, and then I'm going to continue the stitches. I hope you understand. So I'm going to stitch it down to the end of it. And now notice that I left some bias untouched. So I'll just complete my stitches and still allow the bias to be there. Then when I'm done with the stitches, I'm going to show you how it looks like. Okay guys, so now I'm done stitching it. You can see. Let me show you clearly. You can see what I have. You can see this X is here. You can see it. I skipped it and then I continue the stitches to the end. So this one now is out of the way. I can go ahead and trim it off because it is no more needed. Okay. So after that, I'll basically fold this the way it ought to be. You can see, following the crease that was there initially. So this is how it is now. So I'm going to continue the stitches. From here, I'll stitch down to this point. Then whatever I have here now is not really needed again from this point. You can see. So this excess here is not needed. I'm going to trim it following the zipper overlap like this. Okay, so having done that, you can see what I have left now. So after stitching this down, I'm going to continue using this other bias that I left here. I'll use it like this and finish up the stitches up to this point. So you can see the connection now. The reason why we left this bias hanging. I'm going to use it to connect it up to this point. So let me go to the machine and do that. Then I'll show you the results and what to do next. So guys, after stitching this one, I'm going to notch it like this. You can see. So this is what I have. This is the front part. Then before you continue the stitches, ensure to close up the zip and then turn over the waistband and see how it is like before you continue. You can see now I have closed the zip and this is how it is. You can see everything is lapping perfectly well. So look at this. Okay, so that means I am really okay. So what I'm going to do now is to trim this one off like this. You can see. Okay, now you can see everything is really balanced and clean. Look at this. Now I have finished the stitches here and everything is balanced and clean. And you can see how it looks like. So this is what I have here. So the next thing for me to do now, let me just show you how this side is. You can see now how it is like. Everything is very flat and beautiful. So this is the time for me to fix my waistband, the ready-made waistband. So I'm going to place it like this and check. From this point here, it's going to go in a little. So it's going to go in a little. So I'm going to just cut it somewhere here. Always allow some excess when you are doing something like this. Then another thing is to take note of how you place it. If you are to place it like this, it will not be nice. So you have to turn it like this to make sure that the right top appears in the right direction. So at this point, what I'm going to do now is to top stitch this by half of an inch. You can see I'll top stitch this like this, back tag it, and I'll do all it to all the loops from this point, from the waist point here. I will top stitch it around here by half of an inch, all the loops. Then when I'm done, I'm going to attach the waistband. So I'm going to put it like this and stitch. You see this point? So I'm going to insert it like that. Then I'll open it up and start from here and stitch it down to the end. This is how I'll place on the machine. I'll stitch here from here down till the end of it. When I'm done, I'll show you what to do. Okay guys, so at the end of the day, this is what I have. So you can see now everything is really balanced. You can see how the loops is. So what I did here, after joining back tagging the loops like this, you can see I have already back tagged it. So you have to really make sure that your stitches is very strong so that it will not fall off when the person is using it. So after I have back tagged it here, the next thing I did was to pull it open like this. You can see this crease here. See this crease? So I open it up like this. Then I had to push this loops and bend it like this, making sure that everything is very flat. Then I'll place my waistband like this from here at this point. And then I'll stitch. I'll make sure that it does not really touch the crease line, but it's very close to the crease. So I'm going to stitch from here to this point, then I'll back tag it, and then I'll continue the stitches. When I get to another loops, I will also pull it over like this and make sure that it enters inside, back tag at this point. Then I will continue the stitches up to this point, then I will fold it in, then I will back tag at this point, and then I will complete my stitches here at this point. So when I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. This is what I have. You can see how neat it looks. So everything came out perfectly well and blended. So let me show you how to finish up this point. So what you're going to do now is to just flip it over like this. Let me flip it over how it was initially. Then I'm going to balance it very well like so. I'm going to stitch it here. I'll make sure I get everything out of the way. So I'll stitch it from this point. You can see I'll stitch it from here down to this point and I'll back tap. When I'm done, I'll pull it out like this. Then I'll go ahead and get this. See this piece? Make sure you get it ready because this is what I'm going to use in finishing up this part. Okay, so in this part, I'm going to put it like this, right side facing each other. I'll put it like this, right side facing each other. Then I'm going to top stitch. You see this? I'll start here, turn it like this. Then I'll top stitch down. When I get to this point, I'll pass here, enter the waistband, then create this little notch following it. Then I will back tack here. When I'm done, I will show you what it looks like. Then before I back tack, I will ensure that I fold this part in like this to match up with this point. So I'll fold it in before I back tack it here. So I'll fold it in before I back tack it here like this. So when I'm done, I'll show you what to do next. At this point, this is what I have here. You can testify to it that this is a special way. Yes, this is a special way of making this particular waistband. So I believe that you have learned something. If you are a little bit confused, don't fail to ask questions because you will get clarification to this and I will explain more. When I'm done, this is what I have. You can see now. You can see it. You understand how it goes. You can see. I folded in this part. You can see now. Okay. So that's how I stitched. What I'm going to do now is just to cut this off because this is not really necessary. And I'll trim this off too. When I turn it over like this, See what it looks like. Wow, this is amazing. Can you see this? Can you see this? This is amazing. So let me just notch this out first so that it will be relaxed. All right. So you see that? Okay. So at this point, we're going to insert our fastener. See how it's looking. So beautiful. Then to this other side, I'm basically going to complete this part here. So I will just fold it in like this and I'm going to stitch it like this. So guys, this other side here, I top stitched it and let me just notch it open. Let me notch it a little bit. Then I'll pull it out. So can you see it? This is absolutely amazing. Very, very beautiful. You can testify to it. It's very, very wonderful. Okay guys, so you can see how it's already looking. Look at this. Can you see this? You can see this. Okay. So this is already amazing. This is already amazing. So this is the point that you're going to attach it to this other side. Now, at this point, we are going to finish it up here. This is what we're going to do at this point. Before we bend this in, we're going to attach the hook and eye before finally closing this part up. So you need to get this. You can see this is hook and eye. There are different varieties of this. So get the one that you really like and then you can now insert it there. So my dark line is always at this zipper point. So I'll just shift it a little bit. I'll just shift it a little bit away from this point like this. So I'm going to put it here. So you can see it is now bursting in this side. So then I'll pick this up and insert it there. So you can see it here. Then the next thing to do is to arrange it back like this. Get this and put it in. Okay guys, so afterwards the next thing to do is to flip it over like this, and then as I bent it now, I'm going to pick only this piece and then I will top stitch it on the machine and get here. Then I'll pick it alongside the other ones. Then I will place it like this on the machine and top stitch to that point. Then when I'm done in this other side, I'll basically stitch this point. You can see that this side is not closed. This place is not closed. So I'm going to just stitch this place closed by inserting it on the machine. Then I'll pull out this other part, this side. I'll pull it out like this. Then I will run my stitches about 1.25 here, straight down. Then I'll cuff it in like this. When I'm done, I'll show you how it looks like. So guys, after top stitching, this is what I have. You can see now, this is how it appears. It makes the trousers to look so beautiful. It gives the back piece professional look. So can you see this one that is remaining? This is what I'm going to use to cover this other part. So I'll just simply put it like this and then open up this piece like so. Then I'm going to just simply top stitch from this point down to this other part. So when I have passed this side, I'll then fold it like this and continue the stitches and climax it there. So that's what I'm going to do. But before then, let me just continue in this other side. So the next thing for me to do in the other part is to sew the legs of the trousers. So I'm going to just match it up like this. Each of the legs, I'll match it up like this, and I will stitch it, making sure that everything stays the same up to this point. So you can see now. So I'm going to close up the inseam of this trouser leg like this. Also, I'll do the same thing in this other side like this. Then I'll match it up to this point like so. Then I'll close it. Remember, I left like 1 inch here when I was stitching this, so I did not close it completely. I left like 1 inch here, so I will just close it up like this using that small space that was left and run it straight down to the leg. So ensure that you always have it equal, because when cutting, I believe you must have cut it equally. So if you are stitching and it have some excess, you should know that there is something wrong somewhere, that it is not normal. So whenever you cut your fabric and you stitch it and realize that you have some excess, you need to loosen it and stitch it again, because you're not doing it right, except you did not cut it to be equal. So that's what I'm going to do. When I'm done sewing it, I will open it up and show you what to do next. Okay guys, so we are almost in the concluding part of it. You can see this is so interesting, very neat, and wow, just look at this, just look at this. So if you measure from this point to this point, you see that it is precisely 1.25. Okay, so for the back side, here is what it looks like. You can see this. So after everything, I had to push this in and top stitch it around here. You can see these stitches. Okay, so let's close the back panel now, so you can see where I stopped everything. Look at this, look at the junction. So this is going to match up. Using this method will help you to match up your seam at the junction here. Then what we're going to do now is to close up the back part. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to put the back piece together. This point is always very important when you're making a man's trousers. Yes, this point here. So you could recall that we are going to shape it by 1 inch here. So at this 1 inch, I will ensure that I have a perfect match. The lines here matches each other like so. And I'm going to start from this point and stitch down. I will slant it by that 1 inch from here like so down to meet up with my ½ inch at around this point. So I'll continue with ½ inch to this point. When I'm done, I'll show you what to do. Okay guys, so here it is. After stitching it, this is what I have. So I had to run it from this point down, and I had to join it over to this other front side. See, I open up this seam like this, and also this other side is open while joining it. So I always encourage stitching it twice to make sure that the seam is very strong, and this will help the clothes to last for a long time. So afterward, I'm basically opening it up like this. Then I will fold it in Then notice that something is popping up here, so you can still push it in and make it really nice. So when you are stitching this part, you need to apply some technicality in it. That means you have to slant it forward a little so as to make it possible to accommodate the down part when you fold it over. I hope I'm making sense. Okay, so guys, I am almost done with this project. You can see I'm just going to fold it in like this. Oh, this is so beautiful. So when you check this point, very, very important, you can see how everything is really matching up. So that is it. That is it. Okay, so for the last part of it, what I'm going to do now is to open up this zip. I'm going to place it like this and make sure that I push everything inside and make sure that everything is balanced inside here. So I'm going to keep it on the machine like this. Then I will stitch in the ditch. Do you know how to stitch in a ditch? That means that your needle should pass through the middle. That is the center of the stitches. I don't know if I'm making sense. Please, if you don't know some of these terms, you really need to know them because it's very important. So that means your stitches, your needle should pass through here, in between these points. That's how to stitch at the ditch. Okay, so it has to pass through this point like this. That's what I'm going to do as I top stitch the waistband. Then when I'm top stitching, I'll make sure that everything lies flat and it is going to be giving. So when I get to this point, make sure that I keep everything well, and then I continue the stitches until I get to the end part of it. Do well to pin it down if this is the first time of trying it out. And when I'm done, this is what I have. So you can see how I stitched it carefully. If you look at it closely, you will not see any stitches here on this part. But if I open it up like this, let me open it up. You can see it is really inside the ditch. Okay, so you may wonder how I managed to skip the loops part. So this is what I do. When I run it on the machine, when I get to this part, I'll stop. Then I'll push the loops inside, bring out my needle, put it here like this, continue to stitch. When I get here, I will push it to this point, I will stitch to this point, then I'll stop. I'll raise my needle, push it back to this point like this and continue. So that's why I have this straight here, like this. So I'm just going to cut it up all over. It's now remaining to iron it. Ironing, 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 and hemming the down part of it. So you can see our trousers is already coming out very, very beautiful, very, very luxurious. Can you see this? So this is how far we can go for this video. I hope you enjoyed every bit of it. So what are you going to do in return? Just go ahead and hit the like button, smash it. Then subscribe to this channel if you've not yet done so. We have so many things waiting for you. So if you leave us now and you don't subscribe, you look for us tomorrow and you will not see us, you will not find us. So go ahead and subscribe. You gotta cry, yeah. You gotta that's the term, you're going to cry. You gotta cry. So do the needful as we move to another video loading. Thank you guys. Bye bye for now.